It always takes nice, good long. Whoa, look at that. We didn't even get a countdown. We are live. Welcome to another Telling It Like It Is. My name is Jade Alberts, the founder of Peer Guidance. We help small businesses grow, scale, and become investable. Sharing knowledge and stories is why I started Telling It Like It Is. It is live. If you have any questions, ask away. If you're watching this after the fact, put any questions in the comment section and we will answer them. I also wanted to thank Sexy AF Spirits for their sponsorship. They are a 100% premium, alcohol-free, plant-based, low-calorie, sugar-free, botanically infused, perfect for mixing, locally based company, won 4 double gold medals out of San Francisco. Joanne and her team are great. You can visit their website at sexyafspirits.com. You'll click on it in the comment section. Today, I am excited. I'm always excited to talk to a fellow Sasky. But Braeden Pauls, the founder of Fume, how are you today?
Doing great. Happy to be here.
I know I always love talking about how we met and the importance of networking and things along those lines. And you and I surprisingly connected through LinkedIn, met for a coffee, and we've hit it off, had quite a few conversations since then, and it's taken me way too long to get you on the show. So I apologize for that.
Yeah, I've been watching on the sidelines here, waiting for the invite, Jade.
I don't know. I have to take total onus of that one. I don't know what the heck I was doing.
All good. We'll make it good. We're here, so let's do it.
Exactly. Here we go. I'll give a brief introduction and then we'll get after it. So Braeden is a founder and CEO of Fume, which is focused on empowering greater wellness through making natural solutions understood, trusted, and desirable. They have served over 30,000 customers in over 80 countries from its Canadian-developed wooden-based plant-based inhaler. A student of psychology, Braeden loves understanding what makes people tick and is excited to use those insights to help create a better world. And I talk about this a lot when companies are founded, and I love these stories because they're just so simple. And, you were 4 buddies back in Saskatoon, who were using a peppermint oil as a kind of a pre-workout stimulator. And before you know, boom, Fume is born. So I'm sure it's probably a little better story than I just, put out there. But, please share your story.
Yeah, so the origin story. So yeah, Fume was started by myself and my brother, and then another set of 2 brothers. It was actually here in Calgary, but originally, using peppermint essential oil as just an energizer and being able to open up your airways while working out. There's kind of been people throughout the last couple of years that have been sharing about it, where you would just kind of put some drops of peppermint essential oil in your hands and breathe off of your hands and just kind of breathe that in, and it really opens up your airways and helps you breathe better. It improves your oxygenation. It just helps you have a better workout. And so we were doing that and we were liking the results, but we were thinking like, hey, there's got to be a better way to do this. This is just really kind of not very nice. Like, it's just really rudimentary. Essential oil is expensive. It evaporates quickly. It's just not really a great use case. And so we're like, okay, how can we kind of take the basics of the mechanics of what's going on here and actually develop a product that would do sort of the same function, but do it a lot better. So that was kind of where Fume was born. And so my founders and I, we were all kind of into woodworking and loved wood and making things out of wood. So that was where we went first. We were like, hey, let's see if we can make something. So it really just started as a fun little project to see what we could make. And some of the early Fume sort of prototypes designs are pretty interesting. Definitely not quite as refined and good looking as what we got now, but hey, that's where you got to start. So yeah, it was iterating on the different designs. And so initially it kind of launched as a small, just sort of side hustle, little Shopify site or Wix site, a couple sales every month. Nobody really putting that much time into it on the founder side and just kind of having it sit there. But then we started to see, the potential of it. So it would have been in 2017 that we first sort of started talking and saying, hey, like, let's actually get together and really put some money into this, put some effort into this, and see where we can go. So that would have been, we kind of pooled some of our savings, which wasn't very much, being a bunch of students, and put some money together to start creating some manufacturing equipment, start actually building out some marketing, building a website, all those different things. And so that would have been sort of the late 2017 going into 2018. And then 2018, we sort of launched, I guess it would have been in March. So we worked super hard. We made about 1,000 units of stock. And I remember sitting there being like, this is crazy. We've literally spent like 5 months working on this, spent, you know, tens of thousands of dollars to get this off the ground. And we believe that there's a lot of customers out there that are interested in this, and that we can make this go somewhere. But also you just sit there and you have that moment where you're like, are we crazy? Like, what are we doing? Like it's completely possible that we just made 1,000 units of stock for nobody, and we might not have a product that people are interested in. And so I remember sitting there and thinking that, and it wasn't the case. And we actually, it was an awesome coincidence that there was a huge sort of natural health conference actually happening in Banff, and we knew some of the people in that conference, and we were able to. It was kind of invite only, really exclusive people. And we pretty much knew a few people in that group. We kind of snuck in and just started giving out fumes. So I think that as a company at that point, we probably sold maybe 200-300 fumes total. And we were ready to give away about 300 of them. And I think we gave away about 200 of them. And again, we were like, is this completely crazy? But we're like, okay, let's crash this event. Let's just like flood it with fumes and let's see what happens, right? And it was like, well, if it doesn't work, it's a really good test. Let's fail quick and fail early kind of thing. So we went and did that, and the next day we woke up, we looked at our online store, and we had made almost $20,000 in sales. Wow. And we were like, dang, we got a business, guys. We are going. Okay, let's do this. So that was kind of our founding, and it was crazy. And at that point, I was actually still in university. I was taking classes part-time, so that was a very hectic season of my life. I was training for a marathon and also trying to finish up my college classes, and we just launched our business. And then also two of my other founders they had previously scheduled vacations. They both left at the same time, and we were launching like this. So that was probably one of the most stressful seasons of my life. But yeah, that was our start. We had our little shop that was actually in a tiny little basement, and with our machinery down there, we were making fumes, and it was pretty crazy. The awesome like start of the house, you know, office to the bedroom story from the beginning. Yeah. And since then it's been an awesome journey since then. And obviously there's a lot of other details, but that was kind of the start there, and it's been a crazy ride.
I love those stories, right? You know, great stories, get out there, proof of concept, crash an event, throw it out there. I mean, I just love that. And it's so great. Again, I'm talking with Braeden Pauls, the founder of Fume. You can just click on their website, which is in the comments section, fumeessentials.com. It's scrolling below. So why did you think it was going to be an inhaler? And, you know, was that the best way to kind of have it as I guess as I don't know, as a product.
A product. Yeah. I guess for me, it was like trying it what made all the difference. I had the experience of actually trying a fume after my brother had made one and gave one to me, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. I really like this. Like, this isn't smoking, this isn't vaping, this is like literally just plants. I love the flavor. I love the way this like looks. I love having something in my hand like this. And it was just sort of this intuitive thing that was like, I think that this could be something that can serve a lot of people, but also that a lot of people would be able to enjoy and have as a tool. And so that was sort of our start. And we were looking out there in the world and saying, there's nothing like this. There's nothing in this category. This category doesn't exist. Yeah. But it's super interesting to be able to be something that's all natural, just plants, no vapor, nothing like that, but also be something that still has some awesome flavor and a nice experience. We were like, hey, this is a great category. And then since then, actually researching, like, you know, we started with peppermint, but there's so many other plants out there that you can extract the research. You know, black pepper essential oil is amazing for reducing nicotine cravings. And there's actually been research with using the aroma of black pepper that has shown that it will help you reduce nicotine cravings. Yeah. And we were like, wait, there's been this research has been done, but there's like no products out there that are using this like research and actually like utilizing this, because it's like smoking's the number one cause of death in the world. Like literally every year, people are dying from smoking. I was looking at the data recently. During the period of COVID, more people died from smoking than they did from COVID, which is obviously COVID was horrible, but it's like people every day are dying from smoking, and the amounts are staggering.
Yeah.
Right. And in some ways, this field is just stagnant, right? Like there's not really any innovation there. You got your classic nicotine patches and all these different things, but there's not any innovation in the field. And there's nothing that really, for us, we didn't really see any ways that people could find that were actually desirable for quitting smoking, and actually something that's like, hey, I actually like that. That looks like something I'd actually want to use, and not something that just makes me feel like I'm some sort of patient or something like that, right? So anyways, that was a bit of why we created the inhaler. And yeah, it's been really fun actually seeing all the different use cases that we didn't even necessarily imagine, and customers have said, hey, it also works great for this, works great for that. It's kind of been pretty mind-blowing actually.
Yeah. Well, and as people can see, it's a very simple design, and it's not. And one of the things that I like is that you're actually based. You're based here. You're producing it here. You're making it here. You're shipping from here. You're employing people here. So has that? People always say, "Oh, you can't do anything here. You can't do that." Has that hampered your growth in any way?
It's definitely harder. It's definitely harder. And we made a crucial decision when we were launching. We're like, hey, we could either try to find a manufacturing partner and outsource this, or we could put the effort in and try to develop our own manufacturing and have it Canadian based and really control that whole supply chain all the way from, having raw wood to actually having the product for a customer. And we made that choice. And it was a very, to be honest, it was a very costly and very hard choice, because setting up those things, especially here in Canada, is difficult. But there's a ton of immense benefits, right? Like you said, having local jobs, being able to employ people in meaningful settings, being able to control that whole process. Like we can control our quality and we can make product changes so quickly because we own and actually control that whole process. So it definitely was a lot more difficult to do that, but there definitely is a lot of advantages. And then from the consumer side, consumers also appreciate that. Personally, me as a consumer, I love supporting local. I want to be supporting brands that are Canadian or that are even, North American based, and who are actually, being ethical in what they do and have that transparency. I want to be supporting that. And I think there's a lot of consumers out there that actually matters to as well.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I think it's such an important, and I mean, during COVID, you've seen such a switch to, I mean, they talked about it before, right? And now it's such a, support local, be local. Again, I tried, us as a family tried to support local as much as we possibly can. So I think it's such a good, not only is it good for the economy, but it's also good for, your advertising and your marketing and things along that. So how have you, I mean, I know you kind of, got punched in the face recently by Facebook, and I would love to kind of explore that, because you were doing such a good job, using Facebook ads, selling it, having success, growing your brand, and then all of a sudden they kind of say, no, you're not. We're considering you a vaping product, and you're kind of SOL here. So, kind of walk through the successes that you had there and how maybe you've started to overcome some of the obstacles, that Facebook put in front of you.
Yeah. So last year, I guess it would have been last year, Q2 was when we really started scaling as a company quite quickly with Facebook ads and with lots of online advertising. And also it was kind of the perfect storm, everybody's at home due to COVID, as well as, some advertisers were pulling back a lot of spending on advertising channels. So advertising was quite cheap. And so we were scaling very quickly. I think our July revenue was something like 7x of our January revenue last year or something like that. So that was insanity to try to be able to pull that off, but it was happening. So we were going for it. And the crazy thing, and like you had mentioned, Jay, that Facebook shut us down for being a vape, and that was kind of an assumption that we made. But we didn't even actually know why they shut us down. We'd spent literally, we spent 6 figures on Facebook, and we couldn't talk to a Facebook rep to get clarity on what went wrong with our account. They just shut down our accounts. And we ended up finding out that it wasn't even that we are a vape product or anything like that. It's actually had to do with pretty much we had submitted some company documentation to pretty much verify that we were a business. They have a certain amount of time period that they like say, hey, you need to have your business verified in this amount of time. We submitted the documents in time. They didn't verify them and review them in time, and like their internal systems, and then that like expired, and then they shut down the account. So pretty much we had done everything from our side, and their bureaucracy pretty much shut us down. And we've only found that out in recent months because we've actually got more contact and actually talked to some people and starting to get clarity. Yeah. So it's just really, it's a frustrating reality for, we were small, but like we're still spending, hundreds of thousands of dollars on Facebook, and we still can't get that rep. So it's a weird reality where these are some of the realities of the online world, where it's an incredible tool, but it can be a bit fickle. So obviously that was a bit challenging for us, but since then we've been able to bounce back in ways. So that was our number one sort of new customer acquisition tool, and now we've been moving much more into YouTube, into podcasts, and into ambassadors and influencers. We had some of these channels running previously, but doubling down on them and scaling them. And specifically the podcast space is really interesting. It's a great way to be able to access new customers, to be able to get your message out there. It's like, obviously you don't get as much data and tracking and information as you would as from something like Facebook, but still a really cool channel and a great way to be able to get out there. And something we really like about it is, you can actually establish relationship with hosts and with the people talking, and find people, that are a great fit on the podcast, that are like, hey, I actually love this product and I use it myself. And for a customer who's hearing about a brand or a product the first time, to actually hear that, like, hey, I, as a podcast host, I love it. I use it every day. Here's what I use it for. That's super powerful. So yeah, it's been a tough process to have that much of our revenue kind of slashed, pretty much from a mishap with Facebook. But I guess that's startup life. You bounce back and you figure it out, and we come back stronger. So,
no, for sure. And I always get, we had a conversation about this a while ago, and I couldn't believe that you guys were slumped into that, and that's kind of what you assumed. And it's amazing, once you start reaching out to them and can finally get a hold of somebody there that, that's not the case. But moving down that road and instead of just sitting there whining, you kind of pivoted, moved on, started, kept going. I mean, you eventually finally got on Telling It Like It Is. Joe Rogan mentioned you guys, Telling It Like It Is. Joe Rogan, same viewership type numbers.
Pretty much the same levels there. Yeah. Like I was kind of excited about Joe Rogan, but being on Telling It Like It Is, that's the next level there, Jade. That's actually what's the excitement level for Joe Rogan's here. Telling It Like It Is definitely
exactly. So I mean, obviously you guys are getting your brand out there, and you're doing a great job, putting it out there. And I know I'm going to ask you about this a little later, but I kind of want to touch on, because I really do like the fact that you guys are in the process of becoming a B Corp. So why do you think that it's, sometimes people view, being corp as being costly and ineffective. So why do you think that it's important for Fume to be a B Corp?
Yeah, it's something for me that it's my fundamental belief in business is that businesses are successful when they are serving people, right? And when they're creating value, right? And that's the fundamentals. If you're trying to cheat that system and somehow make a business, but not serve people that well or not create that much value, you're never going to do it. It's actually about giving. It's actually about how do we really make a wow experience for a customer? How do we really actually make value for everybody and be something that is valuable in the world? And so that's my fundamental sort of philosophy of business, and B Corp just meshes very well with that. And I believe that businesses that actually internalize those values and then also are transparent with customers in saying, hey, here's our values, here's what we're doing, here's actually, you can look at it, we're certified that we are actually doing these things. That consumers appreciate those things, and that they will actually end up in greater brand loyalty, greater sales, greater respect, just across the board. Like for me, I look at companies such as Allbirds, based in San Francisco with their awesome shoes. I don't know if you've ever rocked those, the great wool shoes and that type of thing, and their growth and their ability where they're really trying to be an example for other businesses, and that's really inspiring for me, as well as other companies, like Canadian companies like Pila Case out in Kelowna. They're doing amazing things. They're also B Corp. These values are important, and that actually giving back comes back in spades. That if you're serving your community, if you're serving those around you, that's actually going to benefit the business in the long term. It doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean that it's simple, but it is, I think, the best choice to make, even if it's the more difficult choice to make.
And I commend you for that. I'm obviously a big fan of that, right? Pure guidance is purpose before profit. And, we waived all the fees for all of our clients during COVID. Even just recently, we've been working with a client and they've kind of run into a little bit of financial difficulties, and we're waiving the fees for them again, right? Like, it's just, you have to believe that. Well, we're not going to be B Corp certified and things like that, but I truly believe in that. And not only from a marketing side or something like that, it is right, as you said, the right thing to do. I wish more companies would consider that, be transparent, be open, put that purpose before profit type mentality out there. And, people will appreciate that. Again, I can't say how much I commend you guys for going down that road. It's just fabulous.
Yeah. And I guess my belief is that, putting those values in and going through the hard stuff at the beginning of the business, that's a seed for the later brand loyalty and long-term growth of the brand, right? And it's obviously, it's like, it's hard as a startup to be like, hey, we're actually going to donate money, right? Like, it's like a startup, you need as much capital as you can in some ways. So it's like, wait, why would you support other causes and that type of thing? But I believe that still is important for a business to do, and we are doing it from the beginning, even when it's the most hard at the beginning of a business. So yeah, it's definitely not the easy path, but I would encourage other startups out there to look at it, get that done, and I think embedding that from the sort of foundation of a business is the way to go. And then you don't have to try to transform a culture or completely change your business to try to become that one day, because I think what we're going to be seeing in culture is that those are the businesses that are going to be getting the brand loyalty, are going to be, they're going to be the ones that are in the public eye, are the ones that are really giving back. So that's my belief.
No, I totally. And for some of those people who may not know what B Corp is, I've slapped their website in the comment section there. I mean, it's just the higher standards of transparency and click on it, find out more about it. It's a fabulous certification. And again, I'm with you. I wish more people would come out and do that. So you talked about what's next, and you were talking about long term. So I know that you are going to be, generating your second generation Fume product, and you're going to be doing some fundraising here. So let's talk about what your next steps are.
Yeah, well, we're so excited. Like we've served over 30,000 customers. We get tons of reviews back from people saying, wow, this is crazy. I love it. I've been able to quit smoking with this. We've had reviews such as people being like, I've smoked for 40 years and tried tons of different things to quit smoking. Nothing's worked. I tried Fume and I've been able to quit. And it's like, we're getting that feedback from people, and it's been incredible. But we also get a little bit of feedback from people saying, I absolutely love the product, but there's also, these couple things that would be a lot nicer if they were a certain way. So we've got both that amazing product, those amazing reviews and testimonials, and then we've also got some of that feedback that's, hey, some of this could be better. We've known that our product is a bit of an MVP, and in some ways we've made this choice where we're like, hey, we can either double down and try to go into sort of hyper growth at this point with our present product, or we can try to answer some of these sort of customer questions and some of these concerns, develop the product that we're really, really proud of, that solves all of these problems and is an amazing, the UX and everything is just exactly what we're wanting, and then scale with that product. So, and also potentially get IP with that new product. So that's been in the works here for the last couple months, which has been really exciting. We're starting to see some of those prototypes, and I'm not going to spill all the beans about all the details of what's going to be coming out. But yeah, it's going to be a huge improvement. It's going to be something that we're going to bringing our basic concept to the next level. and then it's going to be something that's going to be able to help people quit smoking even better, and to be able to just serve people better in the world. So yeah, that's really exciting, as well as just being able to expand, right? We've kind of proven out the concept that this is a product that's valuable to people.
Yeah.
And now the question is, how do we get in front of more eyes, and how do we scale that? So that's our biggest question right now. And so that's where raising money and being able to work with outside partners to be able to answer that to the best of our abilities is going to be the next stage, which is really, really exciting, because obviously we're already seeing, we're working with urban outfitters. We've seen the interest out there. It's like, okay, now how do we actually build our supply chain and start to get out there and expand and actually make Fume that something globally recognized, for millions of people. So.
Oh, that's awesome. And, I've been watching your journey for over a year now, and it's been great to see what you guys are doing. I mean, I know you haven't spilled a lot of them. You're not going to spill them. I've been privileged to see kind of some of the plans. I'm excited for them, and I had questions about them, and you asked them and everything that you said, oh man, that actually makes sense. Like here we go. So it's something that I'm really excited to see your journey and go from there. So it's always exciting when, I interview someone that's a little farther along the process and has, generated X amount of dollars of revenue and things along those lines, because it is hard to get to where you're at. So, it's exciting. It's always, and again, it's one of the things that, kind of bothers me about is we don't talk about companies like yourself early enough. And that's why telling it like it is was started. Like, in my opinion, you don't need to talk about them when you get to the Benevenies and the Smeds of the world. We got to talk about you guys right now, because you've been great for a long time, not because you got to that point. It took forever in the struggles. And this is why, you got, this is just probably your first of many that you'll be doing and promoting and getting out there. And I 100% believe in my heart that you guys are going to be getting financing, and away we go.
Totally. No, it's exciting times. I feel like we're kind of just on the cusp right now and getting that next level. So it's been really fun. And yeah, I really appreciate it. Like being able to recognize those small businesses, because in some ways, it's when you're at these stages, it's like some people know about you, but not everybody knows about you.
Yeah.
And to be able to actually expand that awareness is huge for businesses, and talk about the stories early. And then it's also really cool for you to be like, hey, we talked to these guys back when they're, at the beginning stages, and look where they're at now, right? So
yeah,
it's good for everybody.
Exactly. I don't know. Absolutely. I love having these conversations and sharing stories, because it's just, it puts a smile on my face every time. And I know what's going on, in Alberta, and companies like yourself and many, many others, need to have their stories, need to be shouting from the mountaintops a little earlier on. So I know we've made a little difference in that world, and I'm proud of that too. So now, speaking of advice, I mean, you guys have kind of run the gauntlet of running out to Banff, to putting, handing out product, to growing, to being, taking your ads, taking away, to, kind of pivoting again, to becoming your second generation. So if you had one piece of advice for a small business startup or entrepreneur, Braeden, what would that be?
I'd say keep your grit. Like that ability to be able to just figure stuff out, right? Like it's so hard, and I realize, as somebody who's hiring people now, to find that grit in people, where it's just like, hey, you got punched in the face, what you gonna do about it? Like what's your next step? And it really, as an entrepreneur, your ability to be able to pivot, to be able to then react, to have a creative solution, to think outside the box, to act quickly, that's going to be it. But that takes grit, right? And sometimes, it's easy to say, like, oh, by all the metrics and everything, it's like, oh, well, it's just not going to work. And it's like, if you're going to have that kind of mindset, you're not going to make it. You kind of have to have a healthy level of stubbornness of like, no, this is going to work. How are we going to make it work? Right. Yeah. And figure that out. And so, yeah, I would say my advice would just be keep that grit. And that's going to be something that's going to carry you through.
I love that. Keep my grit. I love grit. I love gritty. I love, it's kind of like that for, your third and fourth line player in hockey, right? You need those guys to get in the corner and muck it up a little bit. Out of 180 some interviews, I've never had grit mentioned as that. So like, here we go. As I said, I always hear something different, something unique, and something that's going to be beneficial for somebody to hear. So, thank you for sharing that. And again, I really appreciate you spending, half an hour with us today, coming on, sharing your story, talking about becoming B Corp, what's important to Fume, because it's, again, these stories have to be out there. So I really appreciate you spending time with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jade.
No, and again, thank you to Sexy AF Spirits. If you looking for another great locally based alcohol-free mixer, check out their website. It's in the comment section. And again, fumeessential.com is theirs. Click on in the comment section. Anybody has any questions, ask away, or just head over to their website and you can order their products. So again, Braeden, thank you very much. I hope everybody and yourself have a great day, and we'll chat soon.
Thanks so much, Jade.
Right. Bye-bye. Well, that's weird. It's not shutting down. We might just have to keep going here. I'm going to try something else.